Hello everyone, so today we're going to be doing a Balenciaga comparison, big shock, Balenciaga, between the city bag and the work bag. Interested to see how they stand up against each other? Stay tuned. Hello everyone and welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Caleb, and on here you're going to find a lot of things like luxury shopping, reveals, reviews, and unboxings, luxury travel, daily vlogs, pretty much anything that has to do with life and style, you're going to find right here on this channel. So before we go any further, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, give this video a thumbs up, and say hi to me down in the comments. I love interacting with all of you. And find me over on Instagram, caleb.snell.designer, same name over on TikTok. I've been using that a little bit more lately, a little bit. Keep in mind, I post new content every Wednesday and Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, and sometimes a bonus video on Friday. All right, so let's dive into it. So when I posted my Balenciaga reference guide, I think last Sunday, I had a lot of questions about different styles. Do you like this bag? Do you like that bag? How does this compare to that one? So I'm like, you know what? Let's do a comparison today. Why not? It's my channel. We love talking about Balenciaga around here. Obviously. So today we're going to be comparing two of the most iconic bags from Balenciaga. So when people are talking about the Balenciaga Moto bags, typically they mean the big four. You have the first, the City, which we're going to talk about today, the Work, also talk about that today, and the Weekender. Those are kind of like it's not really a holy trinity, but the holy square, holy quad, who knows? When you're talking about Balenciaga, those are the big four, and we're going to talk about the two in the middle today. As you all know, I missed out on that gorgeous metallic magenta first, so if you're watching this and you bought it, consider selling it to me. It'll have a great home here. When it comes to the Balenciaga City and the Work, they are very similar on the outside, but two very different bags. So let's first dive into dimensions and kind of how they differ on the outsides from one another. So when it comes to the City bag, the dimensions on the outside, you'll have 14.5 across, 9.5 high, roughly 4 inches deep. The handle drop will be about 3.5. So if you're a little bit more petite than I am, you could definitely elbow it if you wanted. And the strap drop will be roughly 7.25. So they say on the website. This is the one thing people complain most about the City. It cannot go crossbody. This is literally an on the shoulder bag, which is nice if you want to go hands free. Unfortunately, the Work does not come with the additional strap. Now, when it comes to the Work is quite a bit bigger. So as far as dimensions go, the exterior is going to be 17.5 inches in length, 10.5 inches tall, 7 inches deep, and it's pretty deep, and then about 4.5 inches here up at the top. Of course, once it's empty, it does tend to slouch a little bit more, but of course I have mine filled with air paper. Now, this is one of the biggest gripes about the Work. It does not have the option for an exterior strap. It's a much bigger bag. I don't really use straps, but do I wish it had one? Probably, especially if you're going to use it for work, because you can get like your laptop in there, files and whatnot, which we'll see here in a minute. Now, major style cue differences on the exterior. Of course, we're comparing an Arena hardware to a Giant 21 hardware, so there's automatically going to be some differences. But with the exterior, the Work zipper bed comes to an end here with a little flap at the end, whereas the City bag has the iconic zipper ears from the zipper track. Also, you're going to have the strap on the exterior, which can kind of weigh down the corners back in the back if you don't remove it when storing. So make sure you remove it when you're storing. And for other excellent tips, check out my Balenciaga reference guide video, link down in the description. Now, something that I love about the Work bag that the City does not have, can you guys guess what it is? Feet. So whether you have the Giant hardware or the Arena hardware, you will have feet on the bottom of the Work bag. I do think later on they got rid of the feet at some point, not quite sure when. With my 08 autumn winter bag, they have the feet, which I absolutely love. Now, those are the exteriors at a glance. Now, of course, you do have the mirror, which I keep in my front zippered pockets, of course. This front zippered pocket, you can't really get a full-size phone in anymore. If you had a smaller iPhone, like not a max size, you might be able to get it into the Works zipper because it is a bit larger than the City bag, I believe. But overall, not a whole lot fits in there. Maybe like your Metro card, if you wanted to keep that in the front, just have easy access. I just keep my mirrors in there. All right, so let's kind of hold them up to each other and see how they compare as far as looks go. As you can tell, the City bag is a lot more manageable as far as size goes compared to the Work bag. Now, it's not quite as long. There is about a 4-inch difference between the two. And then in terms of height and depth, again, a pretty large difference. So essentially with these, you're really only going to be carrying the Work bag if you're like literally going to work. Since it doesn't have a strap, I wouldn't really recommend one of these as like a diaper bag if you have a young child at home. It does make a good everyday bag. It's very large, so keep that in mind. Now, I do think that with the Y2K trends coming back around, I know we're kind of phasing out, as much as I love mini and nano bags, we're kind of phasing out of the smaller bags and back towards larger ones again. I don't know how I feel about that. I do like larger bags, but then they're a pain to carry. Not that this is a pain. This is always wonderful to have on me. It does have a lot of room in it. Now, when it comes to the City bag, this one, it is the perfect size. I can't reiterate that enough. It holds absolutely everything that you need for a full day or a full week, and then it has a little bit of room to grow on. In here, I can get all of my main essentials, and here I still can, but because it's not quite as structured as most large bags are, by the time it caves in on itself, everything inside is a jumbled mess, whereas since this is so compact, everything stays right where I put it, which is amazing. Now, with Balenciaga leathers, we all know they're very smushy. They are drapey, fabulous leathers. Now with this one, it is full-on smush. I mean, it is doubled up on the bottom, but it's not really structured, if you know what I mean. Now when it comes to the City bag, I'm not sure if they did this because of the feet or the size. It has kind of more of a structured panel on the bottom, as you can see here, which does help. It keeps everything from just piling in the center, because a bag this large and this soft, it would just be like a sad black hole. It would just be depressing. So I am glad that they put a little bit of structure in the bottom on this one. The feet, completely pointless. The leather is too soft and drapey to really stand up on its own when it's on the feet, but it's a nice touch when you set it down on your desk at work. All right, guys, now that we've removed all the air paper, they are very similar. Actually, no, the work bag is much heavier than the City bag. Overall, the City bag, for being leather and having so much hardware detail, it's a considerably light bag. Is it heavier than some? Absolutely. I mean, it is a full leather bag with a lot of hardware, but it's not unmanageable. The work bag just empty. I know I have the giant hardware and it's the thicker leather, but I can already feel the weight. So I can't believe I carried this for a full week. I must be jacked at this point. Overall, very smushy, very drapey, gorgeous leather. My City bag was a little, I don't think my City bag was used very often, so the leather is still a little bit more, well, I mean, that's pretty drapey, isn't it? But it is still a little bit firm compared to some of my other Balenciagas that are really soft and broken in. So over time, they will soften up more. I mean, especially now, it's gonna be very difficult to find ones that haven't really been used and broken in. If you can find a new version, jump on it, because it's fabulous, and it kind of tells your own story after you've used it for a while. Like, oh, this nick here happened on the train, this spot happened at lunch. Like, you can kind of tell your own story with your bag. I like to buy bags in really good condition, so that way 10, 20 years from now I can look back and be like, oh, that's the time that the waiter spilled red wine on me at dinner. That's cool. Stuff like that. Now, when it comes to the work bag empty, I don't know if you guys can see it. It is literally a puddle of beautiful lambskin leather and giant hardware. It is everything, and if you love Balenciaga, this is why you're into it. It is so fabulous. Now, I know I said that the bottom had a little bit more structure. I mean, maybe I made that up. It doesn't really look terribly structured, but I mean, honestly, it is. Once you get stuff in there and it kind of lays out, you can see it. It definitely holds its shape on the bottom a lot more than, say, like up here on the sides as they're draping down. I absolutely love the bag. It is very heavy and very large, but that's why they call it the work. You can actually literally carry it for work. Now, they do have another size a little bit smaller than this called the part-time. There's one super on my radar. I'm hoping I can snag it. The part-time is just a little bit shorter, and I think it might be an inch shorter as well. Overall, it's very similar to this size, but you'll have more of the City kind of look to it with the elevated trim around the zipper bed, whereas this one, it's just straight up zipper on the top. You get more of a classic look with a little more room. It's the perfect in between. All right, guys, let's take a look and see what fits inside each. All right, so here's pretty much everything that I need to carry on a daily basis. So we have my Compagnon wallet, my new Balenciaga portemonnaie holder. I got this is gonna be so extra, but I bought this to literally carry my old Bose headphones so they don't wrinkle up on everything. I'm so tired of knots, and it was just an excuse to buy more Balenciaga, so duh. The old iPhone 6 Plus, just as my dummy phone here on the channel. If you haven't caught my review videos, we use that one a lot. My Louis Vuitton Poche Toilette 15. So in here I have my vaccine card for, you know, being out in public, my Shiseido blotting papers, and my Chanel lip balm. I'm hugely disappointed, but this week I am chewing Wrigley's Orbit gum. Not a fan, I'm not gonna lie. I hate that you can't actually pull the pieces out. It's not that good, and the flavor's gone in like 10 minutes. And of course, the Prada 6 key holder, which is a lot lighter now that I sold off my old BMW. Anyway, so let's fill up the City bag first so I can show you kind of what they both normally fit. And then we're gonna try and wedge a laptop in the work. All right, so let's get started. All right, so here with the Balenciaga, I myself have the older style with just the one zip pocket across the back. The newer styles will have, I think, 1 or 2 pockets here. They're just slip pockets on the front side of the bag. So in here, I kind of like to build a base. So we'll start out with my wallet. I mean, look at those colors together. That's stunning. So we'll put that off to the side in there. Then we'll lay the headphones on top. There's plenty of room to put my keys here on the bottom just because they weigh a little bit more. And this horrendous gum. Does anyone else agree with me? Is Orbit not where it's at? I'm gonna try it in person. Let me know down in the comments which gum you prefer. Let's throw our phone on top just so we can get to it pretty easily. And then last but not least, our Poche Toilette. And as you can tell, it all fits in there pretty nicely. Again, it's not a very structured bag, and the way that the Balenciaga bags kind of taper up towards the top, it's hard to really make things stand up, which I mean can be kind of a bummer if you're neurotic like I am. However, that is everything inside the City bag. Now, I know I'm not carrying that much in here, but if you wanted to, you could easily get like a bottle of water in there, maybe a book if you needed to take one to like the train station or the office. So you could fit quite a bit more in there than what I'm using. I don't really carry a whole lot, so that's that. All right, guys, so let's unload the City and check out the work bag. With the work bag, as you can tell, it is a much larger bag than the City bag, but both are fabulous in their own right, so we can't complain. You do get a much larger zippered pocket out here in the front, and from what I can tell, you can easily get your cell phone here in the front. With the City bag, it's going to be a pretty tight fit, which would not be convenient, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So on the interior, it's very similar to that of the City bag. You're going to have just pretty much a black hole. It's that classic cotton lining that Balenciaga used in these bags. The construction though of the zippered pocket is a little different. So as opposed to being, within the lining, with this one they kind of added it to the outside of the lining. I don't know if it was like an afterthought or whatnot. And then on the interior of that zippered pocket, you have another strip of the Moto leather, which is my favorite, obviously. Let's load this up. And quick shout out, Jennifer, I literally got your request like minutes before filming this. So we're gonna try and see if a laptop fits in. Jennifer says that the work bag is her next conquest. So I'm super excited for her to pick one up. They're fabulous. You're going to love yours, I promise. All right, so let's load it up. Okay, so Compagnon wallet fits nicely just like it did in the City bag. We'll throw the portemonnaie with our headphones in on top of that. Keys right next to our wallet. This horrible gum, I'm gonna keep complaining until it's done. Our tester phone, and then last but not least, let's throw in our poche toilette. Now, Jennifer, I know you mentioned that you use a 17-inch laptop. Unfortunately, my MacBook's only a 13-inch, so we're gonna see if this fits. I'm not entirely optimistic. I do know that it'll fit an iPad easily, but a laptop might be tough to do. So we've got the laptop. This is the MacBook Pro 13-inch, and okay, so yeah, you could get a 13-inch laptop in there and zip it up. Weight-wise, okay, it's a little heavy, so I don't know if I would entirely recommend it for a laptop, but you could get one in there in a pinch if you needed to. So that is the comparison of what fits in both the Balenciaga Work and the Balenciaga City. All right, guys, so thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know down in the comments which one you prefer or which one you would rather have in your collection. Are you more of a Balenciaga City person, Balenciaga Work person? Which one do you like more? Me personally, I'm very glad that I have both, even though they're very similar in design. I think they're both two very different bags, especially when you consider the hardware. The Arena versus the Giant, very different bags. Both are fabulous in their own right. Now, personally, one of my goals this year is to have the Holy Quad. Is that what we're gonna call it? I need to get the first and the Weekender, and I'll have the complete collection or set. Of course, that's going to escalate into collecting them in more colors, hardware options, so maybe I shouldn't make that a goal. That might be a little bit much. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I know it was a bit of a quick video, but I just wanted to give you guys a comparison since I know a lot of people are interested in both styles, especially with Balenciaga coming back into fashion again the way it is. Make sure to buy them now before they escalate in price, or don't. Stop buying them so that way they don't escalate on me. I would greatly appreciate that. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining today. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day tomorrow. I hope you all do something special and celebrate the day and yourselves. And until Wednesday, have a good one. Bye-bye.